Good afternoon. It is Monday, August 10th, 2026, and I am coming at you from Middle and Lower Little Lewis River Falls. The time is 2:15 p.m. on my suggest moon phase. Last video was of a nature hike of upper and middle, and now we're going to do middle and lower. I'll walk behind the waterfall. You can see where a lot more water is usually flowing, but we still have some. You can see it's beautiful today. Somebody brought a bunch of blackberries over here, as you can see. Hope there ain't no bear in there. That would suck. Dang, got it. Feels good, I will say that. It's about 5 miles round trip if you come from Smallwood Park, just outside Eatonville. You're gonna get, I don't know, I'd say probably 800 foot, because I'm doing the whole thing twice, basically, coming to each waterfall twice, to and from. So, but it's good exercise, and that was less than an hour from home. Hope your 2026 is going good. Mine's going pretty spectacular. I can't complain one bit. Just out here enjoying this while I can. Only off 2 days this week, today and tomorrow, so I spent the whole morning just basically getting 6 errands run. Got everything done I wanted except for one thing. Northwest Fit, where I've worked out the last 2 winters. You know, just for when I can't hike as much because of the winter time. Well, they closed 3 months ago in April, or 4 months ago, excuse me. So, you know, I got to find somewhere else that's got a heavy bag where I can work out then, you know, a couple times a week, hopefully. But, I mean, hey, you know, one door closes, another one opens. That's what you got to do. As you can see, this is all pretty rocky, and you know, you gotta have some skill to get up around this, but it's worth it. You should see it during the springtime when the water's really flowing. These are especially upper, but you won't be getting down there close, I can promise you that. All this be underwater, and then you'll be getting wet from the spray, but it is beautiful. All right, there we go. It's so loud over, I can't even think. Anyway, I hope your 2026 is going well. Mine is going pretty good. Cannot complain one bit. You know, doing better financially. Slowly getting out of the hole that I got from whenever I bought the vehicle. A little sooner than I thought, but hey, that's why you plan and prepare accordingly. But you know, yeah, I had to get some errands run earlier today. Got all that done. Grocery shopping. Got my back crack and back massage. Oh, that felt so good. And had to go by the bank, get some money. So went by Northwest Fit, and of course they're closed. So found that out the hard way. So I'm trying to figure out. I'll start calling. I just need it for 4 months. November through February. And so I can, you know, be able to work out, stationary bike, heavy bag, pulleys, not weights really, but pulleys, just to pick up the slack for not being able to hike because of the weather. Don't get me wrong, the weather's nice. I'm going to hike, but it's not always that way. Oh, hope wherever you're at, you're safe. Lots of wildfires out west here, all over California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia. Man, I just don't get what possesses people to start fires and destroy the environment, destroy all of this. But I'm out here just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. But yeah, it's about from Smallwood Park. If you do what I did, it's about 5 miles. I guess it's a little less than 4 miles if you just come and out and back once with them. About 600-foot gain if you do that. Of course, doing all these twice gives you a lot more altitude, so I figure about 800 or so. All right, and here is the lower ones. Gonna get to these, and then I'm gonna head on back. Oh. Yeah, it felt good to get all my chores done, errands run around. Washed clothes last night, so I got that taken care of. Now I get my front bumper guard put on in emu claw in the morning. That's pretty much all I got to do tomorrow. Oh. So, I don't know, I was trying to find some stuff to do, but there's not much to do there on a Tuesday morning. Yeah, but hey, I guess they do the best of what you got. Make do and adapt, improvise, overcome. Be all you can be. Oh. You know, make your life as simple as possible. Quit living complicated lives. Get rid of the negativity. Focus on yourself and your family, your kids. Mend those friendships and relationships worth mending. Cut bait on the ones that are just, bad relationships. But on the flip side of it, be a good friend. Be a good family member. Be supportive. Be the main character in your life. Be a supporting character in all your family and friends' life, and be an NPC in everybody else's life. The world doesn't revolve around you. I try to go out of my way to treat, people I come in contact with, grocery store, gas station, fast food. They got a hard job like the rest of us. They're not getting paid as much either. Of course, it's minimum wage. It's just regular labor, but still, it's a job. People like me who eat out a lot, well, I appreciate that. I don't like to cook, so, I eat and run for the most part, especially when I'm working. Get breakfast and lunch as I'm heading to and from work. Anyway, let's get up here and see lower little Mashel River Falls. Also wanted to say real quick is work on your weight if you're overweight. Cut back on calories, cut back on sodas, cut back on sweets. Eat less unhealthy. Progress, not perfection. Walk, use stairs. Get out, enjoy, sweat. That's the main thing. You got to burn the calories off. There we go. Can't do anything about the sun, positioning of the sun and the glare. It is what it is on that. This is lower little Mashel River Falls. 3 of them, pretty nice. All of them are different. And you get different views throughout the year. Yep. Nice little hike today. Can't complain one bit. And here we go. There it is. Ferns. Shoo, unless I'm mistaken, you're gonna get the most of your altitude on lower falls. Ooh, middle and upper weren't near as strenuous, I can tell you that. Both times I did lower, coming to and from. Ooh, I was huffing and puffing and sweating both times. That's okay, it's a good workout. Now, who put a shirt or something up on that? It's amazing what you see when you're just looking around, see it? Somebody wrapped a shirt around it or something? Huh. A sock? I don't know. Oh. But anyway, I don't like videoing people. So that's why I got out of there sooner. Try not to get other people in there, especially kids. You know, we'll be respectful. You know, even if it's innocent. You know, you don't want to, it can come across. So I try to avoid that kind of stuff. I think of scenarios like that, like, okay, how can someone interpret this? Even though it's honest intentions. You know, manners. Manners maketh man. Say yes, ma'am, yes, sir, please, thank you. I say that to everybody, whether you're 2 or 102. It don't cost anything. And most time makes people feel better. You know, like I said, I know I'm not a good guy. I know I'm not a nice guy, but I try to do good deeds. And, you know, I'm just already committed myself to, from here on out, be nice. Until it's time not to be nice. There's always a time for that. But I'm just living my best life possible, trying to be positive, stay focused, you know, have short, mid, long-term plans, you know, reevaluating. I come out here, not just for exercise, but for spirituality. You know, this is my church, nature. I come out here and ask, what would I do? You know, I look from salvation and guidance from within. And it doesn't fail me anymore. You know, but you gotta have complete and total control of your life. You know, work on yourself. You know, if you're happy with yourself, okay. But see, if ask for your closest family and friends, what could you improve on? You'd be surprised. You know, I like to think I've made all my improvements for the better. You know, and I'm happy about that. You know, but I had to work on it for the better part of 6 years now. You know, and I'm gonna keep and maintain and try to improve any which way I can. Simplify my life, make it easy. You know, financially speaking. You know, get rid of, you can do without a lot of stuff. You know, all these you know, coming out here in nature just costs gas money. You know, and now that I'm car camping, I don't have to pay for, you know, Airbnb or a hotel, you know, for overnight. You know, which is great. You know, but I got me a vehicle I can do that with. You know, something that can withstand, you know, both city and, you know, these mountainous, rocky roads up here. Bumpy as heck, slow. You know, you gotta have your wits about you for sure. Seen some young people out on the trail, so that's good, as long as they're respectful. It can be loud, which I can too, so. But I can't help it, my voice projects. How beautiful this is through here. Oh, it feels so much cooler too. Boy, I wonder what that trail goes to right there. You know what? I'll walk a little bit of it. What the hey? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. In the bush. But yeah, lose weight a little bit at a time. You know, start getting yourself better. You will be surprised. Oh man, look how quiet it is here. Don't take long. That's good enough. I like this though. This is nice and quiet. You know, if you don't like your job, do something about it. You know, I tell you young folks, think of something you want to do for the next 40 years. Tell people with the tattoos, same thing. Think of something in 40 years from now when you're 60 years old, you still want that tattoo? You'd be surprised. Most people say no. You know, don't be so impulsive. You know, get control of your emotions. That was the thing I had to work the hardest on. You know, and this world is just the way it is. You know, I quit focusing on it. You know, people gonna do what they're gonna do. Free will. I'm a big proponent of free will. You know, you're responsible for your actions. And I judge everyone, as everyone should be judged, on your words, your merits, and your actions. Oh, chipmunk, hey there, little buddy. Well, look at her. Hey. What's that, little man? Anyway, yeah, look at that. Pretty cool. Love seeing nature, big and small, flora and fauna. You know, I've seen a lot of doggy doo on these trails. So people, if you bring your pets, pick up the pet's doggy doo. Oh, there he is, little chipmunk. What's up, little buddy? Well, hello there. Yeah. See, appreciate the little things in life. Don't sweat the small stuff, but appreciate the little things in life. Be thankful for what you got. Don't live your life by other people's standards. I promise you, people online, they lie about their lives. I don't. You know, but I pretty much, live through example. I believe actions speak louder than words. Do I have a perfect life? No. Do I have all the answers to life? No. Do I have all the answers to my life? Oh yeah, I do now. And that's why I got life on easy mode. Simple, peaceful, easy life. I stay in my lane. I keep to myself. And I just focus on me, my family and friends. Try to give good advice to them. I don't try to give advice what's best for me or somebody else. Everybody's different. Some people need a lot of help. Some people don't want any help at all. Want to be self-sufficient like me. Those are the people I try to surround myself with. People that think like me, act like me. But they have to talk the talk and walk the walk. Anybody can talk the talk. I care about what you do. Anyway, that's enough for now. Anyway, I hope 2026 is going well. If not, work on yourselves. Anyway, y'all got to enjoy nature, people. Later.